Hello, all, and welcome to Astro Wheel of Fortune. My name is Vlada, and I read tarot. And today I'm doing a reading on where is this relationship or connection going to be in 6 months. It can be any connection, it can be any relationship. I'm going to cover romantic and platonic. I'm going to try and see as as many variables to the type of connection that you might be asking. So you can ask about a friendship, you can ask about a family member, you can ask about romantic, and I'll try and cover as many bases as possible. But let's get into it. So for the reading, we've got 5 piles. You can pick a pile if you want to pause the video and pick 1, 2, 3, 4, or 5. You can do so. But I'm going to get started. So we're getting started with pile number 1. I'm going to be live shuffling the tarot. So first of all, we've got balancing act, balance, giving and taking, priorities, and we've got change and progress. So I definitely feel a lot of respect is coming through here. So I feel like wherever you're going to be with this person, wherever you're going to be in this connection, both of you are going to have, there's a lot of mutual respect. There's a lot of give and take, and there's a lot of understanding, each other's points of view. There's an understanding of each other's weaknesses and strengths as well, I'm getting, and you're very in tune with each other. And literally as soon as I flipped the cards over, I was like, respect came through into in my head. And that song by is it Aretha Franklin that sings it, or is playing in my head now? R-E-S-P-C-T, that is playing in my head. So okay, so a lot of respect. We got that message, right? A lot of mutual understanding, a lot of give and take, and progress. You're gonna feel like you and this person are really understanding each other. So if you're going through some sort of conflict or difficulty with your person right now, or whoever you're asking about, know that there's going to be some sort of resolution in the future. In 6 months' time, you're going to feel like you were heard and you were understood. So there's a lot of balance. If you're not going through difficulties, just take this as you're only going to grow in respect to each in relation to each other. You're only going to see progress. You're only going to see progression in how you interact. And there's a really genuine kind of like interest in each other's minds that's coming through as well. Like you're interested to hear each other's opinions. You're interested to know where the other person stands. You feel really respected around this person, and they feel the same. Okay, let's pull some tarot cards for you now. For some of you, I feel like maybe there are some conflicts or some sort of difficulties that are happening in your life right now. Yeah, with the Wheel of Fortune, it's like the wheel is gonna turn. So if you're having a little bit of a hiccup with this person, maybe you had a little bit of a falling out. It doesn't have to be something dramatic. It can also be something like maybe you are just going through some sort of misunderstanding right now. I see that coming to an end. Not necessarily it's like, oh, it's over now, we never have to revisit this again. It kind of feels more like it's coming to an end because we've understood each other's point of view, and we showed each other that we, like, I hear you is what's coming through. Also, the books here are really, really standing out to me. So we've got the books. I never even thought of this, but see all the books that the figures are reading here on the Wheel of Fortune. They all have a book each. And then we've got all these books that she has on her head. So I feel like maybe for some of you, it could be even that you're reading books in order to understand each other. Like, I don't know, like psychology books, or maybe you're... Another thing that this could be indicating is that you are kind of reading each other like a book, like you're able to read each other very well. You know each other's tells, you know each other's, again, as I said, weaknesses and strengths. So maybe if this is like a relatively new connection and you can't really read this person, I think it's going to be easier to read this person the longer you know them. And we've also got the Knight of Swords coming out in reverse. I kind of feel like maybe there have been some misunderstandings in the past, or maybe not a very good, clear-cut communication between the two of you. but I feel like that's something that you're ironing out on kind of like in the longer term. There's a really big focus on ironing out communication, finding middle ground, finding compromise. Compromise is probably a key word here. I think you and this person are going to be finding a lot of compromise, are going to find a lot of common ground. Again, as I said, like reading each other, it's easier to read each other maybe because you're actually opening up to each other. Like, hey, I don't like when this happens, or I don't like when you say this. Or I need you to be this way in order for me to feel loved or cared for. Again, I for some reason I'm getting like understanding each other's love languages. Maybe that's something that's coming through in your life as well with this person in this connection. Understanding because the way that you feel loved may not be the same way that this person feels loved. I feel like you and this person are actually quite different. You have very different understanding of love or friendship or, care, whatever this relationship is. Even if you're asking about coworker, maybe the way that you view work and hard work is different to how they view hard work. Do you know what I mean? That's the kind of thing that's coming through. Understanding each other's love languages, understanding each other's apology languages. The way there's love languages, but a lot of, and it's 12-12 as I'm doing this reading as well. So maybe that's a really important aspect of it. Understanding that something that feels like love to you or something that feels like an apology to you may not be the same for another person. And you're doing it very well. You're balancing these things very well. But a lot of respect. Respect keeps coming through as a very important theme in 6 months. Let's pull more cards. Yeah, it's a very intellectual kind of connection. I feel like you and this person have a lot to talk about on an intellectual level. You have a lot of understandings. When it comes, you're both very smart people. That's first of all, that is really, really coming through. You're both very intellectual, and the way that you operate is quite, maybe both of you are air signs. A lot of air sign energies coming through here. Libra is a very strong one here with the balancing act. I'm really getting strong Libra energy, a little bit of Sagittarius, but the air is really coming through. Both of you are quite logical. Even if maybe one of you is a little bit more on the emotional side, definitely both of you operate from the mind. But even though you're both very logical and you operate from the mind, you're still very different. And there's different things that you expect from each other. One person could expect more practical kind of things where they expect maybe acts of service and they expect things like, helping you clean or something like that, and the other person could be more of a communicator and expecting more of like talking and verbally expressing yourself. We've also got the Ace of Wands and we've got the Four of Wands. I think you and this person in 6 months, there's going to be a really I'm getting a feeling of accomplishment. So if you're having a little bit of a trouble communicating with this person right now, if you're having a little bit of a difficulty with understanding each other right now, I see that in 6 months' time, you have developed a very clear-cut language. You've developed a very good way with bringing issues to the forefront as soon as they happen. Which results in a very happy relationship with the Four of Wands here. It's like it results in a really happy, fulfilling. If you live with this person, I see you having a really happy home life with this person. For example, if this is like a family member or if it is a partner that you live with, or maybe even a housemate, you might be asking about a friend or a housemate. I'm seeing a lot of fulfillment in your home life. Maybe this could be as simple as maybe you and this person are having a little bit of a disagreement with how the household should run. I see in 6 months' time, you're resolving that. Another thing that I'm getting is some of you might get a pet with this person, because I'm just being attracted to the cat and the salamander here, and the animals are really sticking out to me. So some of you could actually get a pet with this person in 6 months' time. Decide to get some sort of pet. Interesting. But communication is key. I definitely feel like one of you is more of a communicator and the other one is a little bit more practical, and it is all about action. But both of you are very intellectual and really operate from the mind. A lot of you, maybe one of you like kind of thinks to the point of overthinking because they're so intellectual because, oh God, sorry, I'm losing my words. One of you could be so intellectual to the point of where thoughts occupy the whole day, and it's thinking, and it's never kind of like settling back into your body. It's just like constant thought process. And the other person is a little bit more practical, where they can get lost in their tasks. If they clean, they kind of like lose themselves in the cleaning process, and they're able to kind of remove themselves from their intellect and their brain a little bit more. They kind of come out of their head and into their body. It doesn't mean that neither of you are emotional beings, but I feel like in this relationship, especially right now, there's a little bit of a cooler energy right now. I feel like wherever you are in this connection or this relationship, even if this is a friendship, it's more like kind of communicative and logical and practical. Whereas in 6 months' time, while you're still retaining that kind of energy of practicality, you're moving into a more passionate. There's a lot of fire and a lot of air. So air is that kind of like cooler, communicative, practical, pragmatic energy. But I feel like in 6 months' time, you're stepping into that fire energy where there's a lot of passion and excitement and having fun together. I think you and this person are going to have a lot of fun together in 6 months' time. And that is the direct result of establishing like a unique language between the two of you. Establishing a unique, for some of you, maybe you're going to be going on a holiday with this person. That's just something that's coming through. Like you could be going on some sort of vacation or holiday as well. That's coming through. But there's a lot more excitement in 6 months than right now. I feel like maybe right now, some of you could even be overthinking the connection right now. And, because of this respect and learning about each other's love language and learning about each other's, I just keep getting that message of something that seems like loving or caring to you may not be that way for another person. Everyone's different. And I think that's something that you're realizing about this person. You're realizing that the things that they value, the things that are important to them, rather than the way that you are used to expressing your love and care for somebody. But this is all going to come through communication. For some of you, I feel like maybe if you're in a long-term relationship, you might be going into couples therapy, and that could be aiding you in some sort of way as well. But that's what I got for your connection in 6 months. So I hope this helped. I hope that it resonated. If you liked it, do like, subscribe, and comment. And I'm going to move on. So in 6 months' time, let's have a look at group number 2, pile number 2's love life. Or not love life, sorry, relationship. Relationship between you and whoever you have picked. It can be a platonic or a romantic. I'm going to try and cover all bases. And I'm going to be shuffling the tarot on camera. Okay, pile 2, group 2. We've got poison apple, toxicity, lessons, red flags, and we've got tears of joy and sadness. So I always think of like bittersweet energy with this card. I think in 6 months' time, you're going to be realizing some sort of important lesson that this connection had to teach you. You're going to be realizing that some things that maybe there's something about almost like an addictive behavior with this person. I feel like maybe you're going to be realizing that you were in a little bit of an addictive state when it came to this person. In 6 months' time, you could be realizing that this person really took your breath away, and it wasn't necessary. In a way, I'm getting that some of you could realize, and please don't take it the wrong way, but you kind of lost yourself in this person in this connection a little bit, whether it's in a positive or a negative way, because I'm kind of getting 50-50. For some of you, you're going to realize, oh, I kind of lost myself in this person, but it's not too bad. I just need to kind of get back into loving myself, and I need to focus on myself and honor myself. But I don't think you're going to be regretting anything. That's the thing that I'm getting. It's like there's no regret with this connection. It's this feeling of like, I did what I felt I wanted to do in the moment, and I'm not going to kind of berate myself or make myself feel bad about it. You're refusing to make yourself feel guilty for how you, maybe there's someone that you're really in love with right now, you really care about right now, or maybe there's a family member that you're really trying to keep a relationship with right now. And in 6 months' time, you might realize that, yes, you could have maybe walked away from this person earlier than you did. You're going to be thinking, you know, I could have walked away and saved myself a lot of time. But I feel like I don't regret trying. I don't regret working on this. Like, I'm getting no regrets, but there's a bittersweet kind of energy. It's like I saw the red flags, or if this is not necessarily like a toxic person, for some of you, this is going to be someone who's toxic. I saw the red flags and I didn't walk away, but I don't necessarily regret not walking away because I learned a lot through the experience. Or for others of you, it's going to be this kind of like, so you're going to have something from this relationship. You're going to end up like, there's something that you're going to, it's like without this connection, even though it was toxic, without this relationship, you couldn't have had some sort of knowledge. Again, I'm thinking of the apple, you know, like the way Adam and Eve, when they bit into the apple, they received knowledge. So it's like without this apple, without this relationship, I wouldn't have had the life knowledge or wisdom that I possess right now. So I don't regret. It's like, yes, it didn't feel the most pleasant, and it wasn't maybe the easiest connection, but I wouldn't have had the knowledge that I have and the wisdom that I have without this connection. It's kind of like you're grateful. It's when you're grateful for maybe like a more karmic relationship. It's when you're grateful for a connection that maybe wasn't perfect and wasn't easy sailing, but it taught you a lot and it had a lot to give you in the long run. We've got the death card. Okay. I see that this connection is either going to transform into something completely different to what it is right now. But for a lot of you, I do feel like there's going to be some sort of ending with this person. Like there's not going to be, if you're asking about somebody that you're currently in a breakup with or some sort of connection that you're not in contact with this person, I think you're going to be moving on from this person. I think you're going to stay away from this person. You're not going to come back to them, and they're not going to come back to you, whatever way that resonates. If you're asking about someone who you're not in contact with, or you just broke up with them, I don't think you're going to be coming back. I think you're going to be happier moving on. And again, with this tears of joy and sadness, it's like you're sad about certain situations that happened in this connection, relationship, but you're also very happy with the life lessons and the wisdom that you've collected. Yeah, 2 of Cups in reverse. I don't think you're going to be revisiting this relationship. For those of you that are in a connection that is maybe really toxic, and again, take what resonates, or a relationship or a friendship that's really toxic, or maybe this is a family member who's really toxic to you, I do feel like you're going to be either cutting them off or creating like a distance between you and this person. That is very necessary. I'm hearing it's very necessary to create this distance. And it could make you feel a little bit sad to create this distance between the two of you, but you know that in the long run, it's important and it's needed. I keep hearing everything's going to work out. Everything's going to work out. Everything's going to work out. And I feel like that's something that it's almost like your future self is coming forward. I think in 6 months' time, you're going to look back on this connection and just realize just how much it has taught you, just how much you actually got to have from the interactions that you've had with this person. This person is my biggest lesson. That's what I'm hearing. I feel like your future self is really present here right now. Like it's almost like I'm getting a reading from your future self saying everything's going to be okay. This was a really important lesson. You really needed this lesson. It wasn't the most maybe pleasant of lessons, but you needed it. And I think in 6 months' time, especially if you're broken up with this person, I don't think you're going to be with this person. If this does not resonate, or you feel like you're in a really healthy relationship, I feel like you may want to pick another pile. But for those of you that it does resonate, that this is maybe not the most healthiest of relationships or connections of friendships, I do feel like you're gonna have a resolution. You're gonna find some sort of answer, and you're gonna keep this person at an arm's length, or you're gonna completely sever the connection that you do hold with them. Page of Swords in reverse, cutting somebody off. Seven of Wands. We've got the Six of Swords in reverse and the King of Swords. For a lot of you, maybe you're asking about an ex. I think you're gonna stay exes. I do feel that, but I think it's for the best. I feel like your guides are really indicating here that you are on the right track to something else, to something much bigger, something much better. You're I feel like you're really in the thick of it right now. You're really in the thick of the emotions right now. And maybe right now your emotions are feeling a little bit, they're sad, they're feeling, you might feel upset. You might feel like you are really battling your emotions right now. But with this card, I'm really getting a strong feeling that in 6 months' time, the sadness is going to turn into almost like this joy that you let go of this person. There's going to be some sort of vindication, or there's going to be this feeling of, I'm so glad that I ended that relationship. I'm so glad that I kept that person at an arm's length, that I didn't let them, it's almost like in some ways, if this is an ex of yours and maybe they keep contacting you and you keep having to say, leave me alone, don't talk to me, you're going to be really glad that you didn't kind of because to me, this card with the poison apple, sometimes I think about it as temptation. So it's like, I'm so glad I didn't get tempted to go back into this relationship. For a lot of you, I think that this relationship is not for you, that it was more of a lesson, more of a kind of karmic explanation. I think also in 6 months' time, for some of you maybe had to block this person on social media. I think that this person may really look at your social media quite a lot. This person might try and contact you on social media in 6 months' time, or in some sort of way, like it feels like it's not in person. It feels like it's more so over text. Like I feel like it's not even a phone call. It feels very like through social media, DMs, messaging, something like that. It doesn't feel physical or like you'd hear their voice. They might try and test the waters to come back, but I feel like you're not going to be interested in that. I'm also getting with the Seven of Wands here, and we've got 7 people, and we've got the poison apple. For some reason, Snow White is coming through, because it's like the poison apple, and then we've got the Seven of Wands with the 7, it's like 7 dwarves. What could that be? I don't know if that resonates to somebody, but that popped into my head very strongly. Maybe it's almost like maybe you're in a hibernation period. You need to go within, because I'm kind of thinking of like the poison apple and she goes to sleep, so there could be a little bit of like, in terms of and it doesn't mean for the rest of, of your life, any other areas of your life. I feel like when it comes to your love life, or friendships, or whatever way you are connected to this person, maybe you need to go into a little bit of a hibernation. Maybe if it's a family member and other people are saying, oh, don't cut off this family member, or don't keep this family member out of your life. It's really important that you connect with them. Maybe you need to step away from the people that are trying to push you towards this person. Maybe you need to go into hibernation if this is a relationship situation. When it comes to love life, and focus on other things, focus on things that focus on how you can apply this wisdom in other areas of your life. But there's a lot of wisdom, there's a lot of turning sadness into joy, but I feel like in 6 months' time you're going to be really happy that you went through with it. It's kind of like, I'm so happy that I stuck to my guns and that I protected myself, especially if this was a really toxic or, even borderline abusive situation. I'm not saying that this is the case with everyone. Again, keep in mind this is a general reading, so the answers are going to be slightly different for each one of you. But I feel like you're going to be really, really happy that you stuck. Stuck to your guns. Me first. That's what I keep hearing. Me first. Me first. Focusing on yourself first, others later. You're going to be so glad you didn't get tempted by something that you knew wasn't good for you in the first place. There's going to be a really strong sense of relief. I'm almost getting like a relief. Like, oh, like a sigh of relief that's going to a sigh of relief that you will be able to breathe at the end of the 6 months, whatever it is from whenever you're watching. Because there's almost going to be some sort of vindication or validation for your feelings in 6 months' time when it comes to this connection. But this is the reading that I got for you. Yeah, that's all I'm getting. If you like this reading, do like, subscribe, and comment. Let me know if it resonated. I'd love to hear your feedback. But I'm going to move on, and we're going to move on to group number 3. So group number 3, where is this connection, this relationship going to be? Depending on who you're asking about, we're going to try and cover all bases. But let's see, where is it going to be in the next 6 months? So first of all, we've got future, long-term planning goals. We've also got meditation for clarity. Okay, so I think you and this person are going to be planning for the future, and you're going to be trying to get clear on what it is you want from the future. For some of you, you might be considering travel with this person or planning future travel with this person. But there's a lot of goal setting that's coming through with this within this connection, within this relationship. If you're asking about somebody that you're currently like in a newer connection with and it's romantic or something like that, I definitely see you moving into a more committed situation in the next 6 months. Commitment. There's a lot of peace as well that I'm picking up on, like a really peaceful energy, a really down to earth, very grounded, really calm. I feel like you're going to feel like you don't have to worry about this connection. You're going to feel like you don't have to worry about this friendship, relationship, family relationship. You're going to feel like whatever this relationship is growing into something important. There's a real sense of like, I can see this relationship going somewhere. Excuse me. Like, I can see this relationship going somewhere. I can see this relationship really expanding in the future. If you're in a long-term relationship already, you might be even ticking off certain goals that you've set in the past. And it's really validating this kind of feeling of, yes, we are progressing as a couple, or we're progressing as a really important like friendship within each other's lives. I'm also getting very strong kind of like soulmate energy. So whether this is a platonic or a romantic soulmate, I definitely feel like both of you are going to be recognizing that in the next 6 months, recognizing that you were meant to meet in this lifetime. You were meant to connect with each other in this lifetime, that it is really important. I'm also seeing viewing each other from a new angle. So maybe you are realizing that there's almost like a fresh new side to the person that you're asking about, or seeing this person in a slightly different light. So maybe you, if this is like a long-term relationship, maybe you always saw your partner in a certain way, but they show you, and it's not like they show you a bad side to them. They just show you a new side or a new version of themselves to you that you maybe didn't expect to see. And you could do the same. But I'm getting a really strong sense of peace between you and this person in the next 6 months. If this is a friendship, it could even be that you see your friend as like in a different light. For some of you, this could be a small portion of you where this is a friendship where you realize that this friend is you actually see this friend as more. There could be that kind of feeling. That's something that really quickly came into my head, like a friend or a long-term friend that you're all of a sudden realizing that maybe there's potential for a relationship with. Maybe that's something that you're seeing right now. You're seeing them in a different light. If this is a family member, it could be that you realize, let's say if you're asking about like a mother or a sister, maybe you were used to seeing your mother or sister or brother or father in a certain way, and you're all of a sudden seeing a different angle to them, and you're realizing that they're like this 3-dimensional 5-dimensional being, and not just your sister, and they have like another side to them, and another, they live their life in a very different way than maybe what you expected them to live their life as. Kind of seeing somebody you're not just seeing them as this is like a person that you're not just seeing as like, oh, this is my partner, or oh, this is my sister, or this is my friend. You're also seeing like, oh, but they're also a mother to their child or something like that. They're a parent to their child, but they're also, someone who is really important in their community, or maybe they have like a platform or some sort of they have some sort of fame. And you're realizing that different people view them on a different level. There's something you're seeing more depth to somebody than you did before. They could be feeling the same about you, whoever you're asking about. It's like there's unexpected depth that you see in this person. We've got the Queen of Pentacles, the Two of Wands, Five of Wands in reverse, and the Justice card. For a lot of you, if you are in a relationship with this person, it could be that you are planning kind of serious things like marriage, planning things like moving in together, marriage, more kind of practical things, practical goals. But this idea of travel is coming through here again. Two of Wands, often with this globe in his hand, I often see it as plans of travel. So I feel like you and this person could be really planning to travel together, to explore the world. You're kind of you're kind of testing, not testing, I wouldn't say testing, but you're maybe discussing. It's kind of like maybe if you're in a relationship, you could be asking each other questions like, what would you want to do as a couple? What would you never do as a couple? There's a really practical energy to this pile. You're seeing a lot of depth to this person, but you're also seeing kind of like how can you progress this relationship between you and them on a more practical level? What can you do? Maybe some of you are planning on buying a house together or something like that, or moving in together again, as I said. Some of you could be planning on starting a business together. There's some sort of long-term, you see you and this person as a really good team. Seeing each other as a really good team. You see that you and this person are not competing against each other. I'm getting that kind of saying, when people say it shouldn't be you against your person when you're in a conflict or a fight, it should be you and the person against the problem. So that's the energy that I'm getting here from group 3. It's like, it's not us. It's us against the world. That's coming through as well, but it's not in that kind of like, screw the world. It's more kind of like, we are a team. I keep getting we are a team. We're not working against each other. We're working with each other. Teamwork is really coming through. So whether this is a friend or maybe this is even, if you're asking about like a family member, maybe you realized a family member that you used to have a lot of fights with, you and your family member are realizing like, oh, we shouldn't be fighting against each other. Like, we're family, and we should be a team. And we actually work very well as a team. Maybe you're just realizing that you and this person really work well as a team. And that I'm getting kind of like you complement each other's strengths. That's really interesting as well. There's a really kind of like you're reflecting on, in 6 months' time, there's a really strong feeling of like reflecting on how this relationship has been so far. But I'm seeing if you are somebody who is just starting to date this person, I really see a lot of good potential for the future for you and them. There's a real kind of feeling of we could do a lot together. We could really achieve a lot together. That's really nice. Let's see if there's anything else. Getting clear on which you're being very honest with this person as well. You and this person are really honest with each other. A lot of honesty, a lot of honesty, and okay. You're wanting to be, you don't want to overthink anything. That's another thing that I'm getting with this person. You're wanting to be like, all cards on the table. that kind of way. Like, I don't lie to you, you don't lie to me. I'm open with what I want from this connection. You're open about what you want in this connection. The Tower. I'm seeing the Tower as like, because this is the after tarot, and this is like, this is the after tarot. So this is the Tower after it kind of has been knocked down. So I feel like this is after changes. So maybe you and this person are going to decide to create some big changes. Another thing that I'm getting, for those of you that have had conflict with this person in the past, I see that you're really looking at the conflict that you did have in a very practical way. You know what? This group really reminds me of group 1. If you were attracted to group 1, if you weren't, forget about it. But it's just something that's coming through. It's like, okay, whatever differences we had in the past, we can put them aside now. We can actually work it out very well now. You're really focused on the long term. You're really focused on your goals. A lot of you as well within this connection, it's almost like both of you are really interested in your individual goals. Like, you could be, especially if this is a relationship, like you and your partner could be focusing on individual, like your individual goals, your individual career goals, especially. There's a lot of financial, travel, kind of like practical energy here. Like, where can we travel? What can we do? How can we save? You know, if we want to buy a house or something like that, how do we save? But there's also a lot of honesty and a lot of authenticity. You're not trying to hide any version of yourself. You're not trying to hide any details from your partner. All cards on the table, that keeps coming up. So, you know, if you're only starting out with this person, I feel like in 6 months' time, you've only grown in your connection. It's very practical. It's very understanding. There's a lot of kind of dreams and hopes for the future, but they also have grounding. They're not just kind of like, oh, maybe this will happen, or maybe this will happen. It's very pragmatic and practical. Like, what is realistic for us to achieve? And we're going to work towards that. Transparency, that's another word that's coming through. Like, we're transparent with each other. There's nothing to hide. So very honest. If you're worried about this person not being honest, I do think this person has the best intentions. They are very honest. They are very invested in what they can bring to the table. But they also want to know what you can bring to the table in this connection. You know, if this is a friendship, it's the kind of friendship where the friend wants an honest friend, and they want to be a good friend to you. They want to be reliable. This person is like really giving me these vibes of like someone who's a rock and someone who you can rely on and really trust. I love this energy. So I feel like you and this person really have nothing to worry about, especially in 6 months' time. There's a lot of honesty. There's a lot of clarity, which I love. So that's the reading that I got for you, group number 3. If you liked it, do like, subscribe, and comment. Leave some feedback and let me know what you thought, but I'm going to move on. So we are going to move on to group number 4. So group number 4, let's see. We've got, so for your relationship, this can be friendship or like platonic, romantic, whatever friendship or relationship that you want to ask about. I'm going to try and cover all bases. So first of all, we've got the Queen, self-worth, self-care, deserving better. And we've got joy and delight. So this is a really kind of happy energy that I'm getting here. You and this person, whoever they are. First of all, there's kind of an encouragement to be your authentic individual selves in this connection in 6 months' time. I think both of you are really focused on being individuals before you are a couple or, you know, two friends. I think both of you are really fostering each other's individuality and what you like to do. Interesting. I really feel like there's a lot of happiness in this connection in 6 months' time. There's a lot of excitement. Both of you feel, it feels to me that both of you, if you're in a relationship, for example, yes, you're still in a relationship, but it kind of feels like that's not the focus. The relationship is not the focus. The focus is that individualistic kind of like, I hope that you can do whatever it is that you want to do, and I want to be able to do whatever I want to do. There's a lot of self-improvement within this connection. and a lot of focus on self-worth, self-care, making sure that each party gets the type of self-care that they crave for themselves. A lot of joy. I feel like a lot of you could be traveling with this person in 6 months time. A lot of you, even if it's not traveling, I'm getting a lot of kind of like going outside. There's a lot of like outside energy here. And I'm getting so like just colors, like this is really colorful. A lot of emotions that are positive and optimistic. You're doing great, sweetie, as well, it says here. So I kind of feel like both of you feel like you're on top of the world, especially if you're asking about friendship. For some reason, this is coming through as like, if you're asking about a certain friend, both of you are thriving. There's something about like thriving on your own and being supportive of each other. And there's this kind of feeling of like, we're both thriving and we're both so excited for each other. It doesn't necessarily have to, it could be, you could be sisters or brothers or whatever, siblings. You could be a couple that are both thriving on your own, but you're really supporting each other at the same time. Both of you could be doing really well in your careers for some reason. That's coming through. It's funny because that we got a little bit of that vibe in group 3, but I feel like this is slightly different. This is something like we're both thriving, we're both excited. There's definitely like celebration. So maybe both of you are going to be celebrating something. It could be that you're celebrating promotions, raises, you're celebrating some sort of achievements as a couple or as a connection, as a relationship. Celebration, excitement, fulfillment. I'm kind of getting a lot of like, it could be that you as a couple as well, you're just socializing a lot. As a couple or a friendship duo or, whoever you're asking about, it could be that you're attending a lot of celebrations together. You're spending a lot of time in really optimistic kind of positive environments in 6 months' time. But it's like you are comfortable being on your own without this person. You don't need this person to go with you everywhere. That kind of way, Really fun. Really, like I'm just getting fun. You and this person are just having fun in 6 months' time. And that's the main kind of focus. And I'm also seeing that you're kind of being silly and you're being funny with each other and you're not taking life too seriously in 6 months' time. Whoever this person is, you and this person in your connection, you're not taking your connection. Maybe for some of you, if you're only starting to date this person or something like that, I don't necessarily feel like in 6 months' time, it could be that in 6 months' time, you're still not exclusive. You could be, but you're not putting too much pressure on the connection. You're kind of like, you're just having fun and you're enjoying your time together. But you treat each other with a lot of respect, and you really make sure to show each other like, hey, I'm really proud of you or something like that. Like I'm proud of you for achieving this, whatever it is that you want to achieve. It's a really light kind of energy. There's not too much seriousness. There's not too much like I definitely don't think you and this person are planning, children or, moving in together, which was a big theme in group 3. And that's why I'm avoiding saying like, oh, maybe you want to watch group 3 as well, because it kind of feels more like it's a little bit more of we have fun, we're respectful of each other, and we're enjoying being in each other's presence, and it's a lot of fun, but there's not a lot of seriousness here. Okay, it's a little bit light, more lighthearted. Okay, let's see, what do we have with the tarot for group 4? I kind of like, I'm getting a lot of kind of dancing or something like that. We've got 5 of Wands in reverse. Ace of Swords in reverse. For a lot of you, if this is a relationship or like a new connection that you're starting out right now, it could be that neither of you want to be the first to say like, hey, I want to be in a serious relationship, a serious commitment with you. It's almost like both of you are avoiding the conversation potentially about being in a relationship because both of you are enjoying the fun element of the connection. And so it's almost like, oh, if I bring up serious commitment, it could be that the fun goes away. There's almost a little bit of reluctancy between the both of you. Interesting. It's like you love being in each other's presence and you have a lot of fun together. Again, with the King of Wands, it's like fun, social. Both of you know what you want, but both of you are maybe very, very individualistic people. And so being in a couple maybe is something that scares you. Again, if this is a relationship. If this is not a relationship, it could be like both of you are invested in each other and both of you feel emotionally very fulfilled. This is a very emotional pile. I feel like we had a couple of practical piles there. I feel like your pile is a little less practical, a lot more emotional. I think both of you are very emotionally invested in each other, but maybe on the practical level, you're not ready to admit that or say it. If this is a family member, I definitely feel like you're going to be in a really good place with this person. But maybe there's potentially certain things that you are tiptoeing around. Again, it could be things that like problems or disagreements that you've had in the past that you're not addressing with your person because you are kind of like trying to avoid conflict. I'm getting like avoiding conflict. So for some of you, maybe there are certain things that you want to say to this person in 6 months' time. There are certain things that you want to express, but both of you are kind of tiptoeing around the conversation for the fear of conflict. We've got a lot of fire and a lot of water here. So very emotional, very, but at the same time, very dynamic. Both fire and water, they can move really fast. It's kind of like very dynamic, very quick moving energies a lot of the time. They're hard to contain, you know, when you think of water like a river flowing, or when you think of fire spreading, it's very hard to contain that energy. So I feel like your energy is very contagious. You and this person have very contagious energy, and both of you have this contagious feeling. When you're around each other, you feel very emotionally activated. You feel really emotionally excited. And both of you are really invested in each other on that emotional level, but you don't necessarily know how to put it into action, how to put it into practicality. You don't necessarily know how to, create that commitment. Or if you're in a long-term relationship with this person already, it could be that maybe you want more, but you don't know how to express it to your person, or it could be your person wanting more but not really knowing how to express it, not really knowing how to say, hey, like, I love what we have, but I wish we had a little bit more practicality. I wish we had more plans set for the future. But I feel like you're having fun with this person in 6 months' time. I'm getting a lot of wish fulfillment. I'm getting a lot of, for some of you, if this is like a new relationship, it could be that you're meeting their family and friends as well in 6 months' time. Or you're meeting more of their family and friends and you're really getting on. I'm getting like really getting on with each other's inner circles as well. There's a lot, I am getting a lot of kind of social energy with you and this person. So you could be going out together socially, and having a lot of fun, you know, kind of going to parties, going to barbecues, going to whatever, you know. I'm getting barbecue for some reason. Enjoying each other's company and other people's company, you know. I feel like this is the kind of, to me, this is really standing out. Like if you are a couple, or, you know, friends, I don't know, the way that you operate within this relationship, it's like, you know, those couples that sometimes at a party you wouldn't know they're a couple because they're kind of like running around individually. They're not necessarily just like sitting together or like, you know, touching each other all the time. They're kind of like in different corners of the room, but they still love each other and they still enjoy having fun. But they kind of, it's almost like they'd rather go and talk to friends and disperse a little bit more. A lot of fun, a lot of self-care, a lot of celebration. There's a really kind of warm and fuzzy feeling around this connection in 6 months' time. And I think for the most part, it's great, but sometimes you may feel like the practicality is missing, or maybe you're not very clear on the boundaries of the relationship. And that's where your guides are almost saying you have to be careful. You have to be careful to set boundaries. Don't let your boundaries slip in this connection. If you're in a relationship right now, maybe certain boundaries that were set already need to be handled carefully in 6 months' time, because a lot of the time, and that's something that is true, we should never kind of like think that the worst of the worst is going to happen or anything like that. But a lot of the time when we're having fun and when things are really exciting and things are really emotionally fulfilling, it is possible that we can sometimes forget to maintain boundaries. It is possible that sometimes we forget to kind of remind ourselves to contain certain things because the emotions kind of carry us away. And I feel like that's something that the cards are really specifying here. They're kind of saying, be careful that you don't get carried away by your emotions and continue setting the boundaries that you maybe enforced at the start of the relationship. Or maybe if you notice your boundaries being pushed, and I don't think this person means to push your boundaries in this kind of toxic way or bad way. It's just that maybe with all of these positive emotions and joy and excitement, these emotions can blur the boundaries and the practicality of the relationship or this connection. Same thing with friendships. Boundaries are really important in any kind of connection. So don't forget. But I feel like you're going to have a lot of fun with this person. And in the next 6 months, in 6 months' time, you're feeling abundant within this connection, which is really, really beautiful. Abundant and excited and full of joy. Really. But be careful that you're not avoiding setting boundaries because you're not wanting to start some sort of drama, or you're worried that if you do set boundaries, it's going to dampen the mood, because what really dampens the mood is when we don't set boundaries, because eventually that gets out of hand. So this is really exciting though. I really think you and this person are going to have a lot of fun and have a really good and exciting for those of you that are watching it when I'm recording, I was going to say summer, because in 6 months, it's like summertime in 6 months' time. So for some reason, summer is important here. So just keep in mind, even if you're watching it at a different time, keep in mind that summertime is going to be really important. That's something that just came through as a last message, but this is the reading that I got for you, group 4. I hope you enjoyed it. I hope you liked it. If you liked it, do like, subscribe, and comment with your feedback. And I'm going to move on and finish up with group number 5. So group number 5, what is this connection, whether platonic or romantic? What is going on with this connection in 6 months' time? We're going to get into it straight away. So first of all, we've got destiny, soulmates, choices, follow your heart, and we've got go with the flow. This is really, really nice. I'm glad that mostly these readings were kind of positive. I really feel a lot of positivity from these readings. There was one that was maybe not even bad, but just maybe a little bit bittersweet, whereas the rest of the readings have been very positive, which I really like to see. I feel like in 6 months' time, you and this person, whoever it is, a friend or a partner, family member, whatever, are really trying to take things easy. You're not trying to force anything. That's the first thing that I'm getting. You're not trying to force anything. You're not trying to force a connection. You're not trying to force a certain way of being in this relationship. Things feel easy in the next 6 months, which is really, really nice. There's a really kind of like following your intuition with this relationship. I feel, again, I had a soulmate kind of feeling about another pile here, but this is another one that I'm getting. I feel like you and this person, whether it's a platonic or a romantic soulmate, I do feel like there's a really strong energetic connection between the two of you. And I feel like both of you are really going to be feeling that on a very deep level. I think both of you are going to want to be laid back. You're not going to want to plan too much. Now, that's one thing that I will say. Some of the groups have been kind of pragmatic and planners, whereas in this instance, I feel like you're not going to want to plan too much. You're not, see the way the oar is kind of like behind, she threw the oar in the river and she's not even trying to direct the boat. It's kind of like neither of you really want to plan too much. Neither of you want to put too much pressure on each other in this connection. Interesting. I really feel like there's a really easygoing energy. If you're asking about a friendship, especially, I feel like if this is a friend that you're asking about, you and this friend could be feeling like you're not wanting to put pressure on each other to hang out or something like that. You know, you're not wanting to put pressure on each other to constantly be texting and things like that. You know, it could be to do with a relationship as well. For some reason, I'm getting that both of you could be introverts, or at least really value your alone time when it comes to this connection. I feel like both of you, whoever, you know, if it's a relationship or a family member or a friend, both of you really value your alone time. And I would be willing to bet that at least one of you is like an introvert. And so this relationship is really kind of based on a more spiritual connection rather than, you know, this kind of like constantly talking, constantly keeping up with each other. This really feels like the kind of connection where it's like maybe you don't speak too much, but when you do speak and when you do reconnect, it feels really natural. It feels like it's very easy to talk to each other. And what else? What else is coming through? It's just a very peaceful energy, honestly. This card has come out for like at least 3 piles. 5 of wands in reverse. And it's my no drama card. So again, I'm getting like a really easygoing. We're not rushing anywhere. We're not trying to achieve anything like super fast. We're trying to take it easy, take it slow. Okay, what else? We've got the Queen of Swords and the 5 of Pentacles in reverse. Whoever this person is, both of you are really good for each other when it comes to like insecurities or overthinking tendencies. Both of you are really good at keeping each other calm. You understand each other's triggers. That's something that's coming through. And you're very good at keeping that just cut off very quickly, so sorry about that, but yeah, you're really good at keeping each other in a very peaceful state. You know each other's triggers, or at least in 6 months time you're going to know each other's triggers. You're going to know what bothers each one of you. I'm also getting a lot of blues, especially blue seems to be a really important color in this connection. So it could be that you feel very like it's easy to express each other. It's very easy to express what bothers you and what you expect from each other in this connection as well. It's very easy to communicate with this person. But blue seems to be a really, really important color for some reason. Okay, let's pull more cards. We've got the Queen of Wands in reverse, King of Cups, and the 10 of Cups. So the 10 of Cups actually and the King of Cups came out in the last pile as well, which is kind of cool. I think this is someone that you see potential with long term. You see potential with this person. One thing that I will say about this connection though, and I feel like your guides are I don't think they're warning you about it. I think they're just trying to express that neither of you want to take the lead in this connection potentially. Neither of you really want to be, it's like neither of you want to step on each other's toes. Neither of you want to be too forceful. And as a result, there is a little bit of a wishy-washy energy. Like I do feel like there's a lot of water energy here. I feel like your guides are trying to say it's really important to establish some sort of structure. Again, it's very similar to group 4, but in a different way. Make sure that you are establishing a structure between you and this person. That you're not trying to avoid important conversations. Again, I feel like I'm repeating everything that I was saying in group 4, but group 4 felt a little bit more active. I feel like this is kind of like you're very similar to group 4, but you're more go with the flow, a little bit more relaxed and easygoing. You know, if you're in a relationship, this is kind of like type of couple that like take naps together, you know. If you're in a friendship even, you could be, you know, going to each other's houses for naps, to have naps together. That kind of feeling. It feels very kind of laid back and relaxed, and you know, we're easy, it's chill, it's cool. You're not putting too much pressure on each other. Another thing that, for some reason, another thing that I got is that potentially some of you could play a lot of video games together, and in 6 months' time, maybe that's something that you're continuing doing. Like it's like you don't even meet up in person; you just like play video games together or something like that. When you have your headsets or whatever. You're really big as a couple. You're really, or a couple or friendship or whatever it is, on not putting pressure on each other. In 6 months' time, it still kind of remains the same. Like, we're not going to put pressure on each other. We're not going to expect too much. Your expectations are not very high in this connection for some reason. And I don't get that in like a really, I don't see that in a negative way. I see it in a more kind of like, I don't see the reason to expect a lot. It's almost like you hope for the best, but you don't expect a lot. And you're managing your expectations very well in this connection or friendship. For a lot of you, if this is like a new connection, new friendship, maybe you've been hurt a lot in the past when it comes to similar types of relationships. And so you're not wanting to get disappointed again or let down again. And so you would rather take it slow and take it easy and kind of take it kind of in a more, take this relationship further in a more laid back way, because maybe in the past when you tried to take the lead and when you tried to put certain rules in front of you, or whatever it was, you felt like you got disappointed. You felt like you didn't get what you wanted from the connection. But I do feel like whoever you're asking about, they are going to be invested in you in the next 6 months. They are going to want some sort of a connection with you. I'm definitely getting a really warm feeling around this pile. Like, both of you feel, I'm kind of hearing it's like coming home. So again, there's a really homely kind of energy around the both of you. So it's like whenever you're around each other, it feels like home. That's what I'm getting for you and this person. It feels like home. You feel like family. And especially, so you could be asking literally about a family member. But for a lot of you where this is not a family member, this person feels like your family. But in this kind of laid back way, it's like maybe you were family in a past life or something like that. If you're asking about a friend, especially, it's like this person who is a friend almost feels like you were family in a past life. Like you had some sort of, it could be a friend that feels like they were your sister in a past life or something like that, or a sibling of yours or your aunt or whatever. Both of you feel like you bring a lot of comfort, and there's almost like an understanding that is unspoken. And maybe that's why it's so easy to communicate, because even you can communicate almost telepathically with this person. And I feel like in 6 months' time, you almost develop like a unique language between each other. This feels like best friends energy, honestly. And even if this is a relationship, I think you're going to realize that you are not only like in a relationship, you're not just a connection that is like romantic or sexual. You're also literally best friends. This pile screams best friends to me for some reason. And I keep getting that song, "You Got a Friend in Me." That keeps playing in my head now. So it just really feels like you're not just a relationship. You're not just some sort of connection. You're family. You're close to that kind of level of family, best friends, and it's almost like you can feel like this person's gonna be in your life forever, and therefore you don't need to worry about it. Therefore you don't need to overthink about the connection. And I think in 6 months' time, there's some sort of proof of that, of like, I don't need to worry about this person betraying me or cheating on me, because this person genuinely is someone who would never do that to me. Again, of course, we have to keep like kind of like practical minds. We have to think logically a lot of the time, but I feel like there's some sort of psychic energetic connection between you and this person, that this person's not going to betray you, because they had your back for lifetimes and lifetimes. It almost feels like maybe in a past life they were very loyal to you, and so their loyalty really feels it's almost like you can feel their loyalty in this lifetime multiply. Loyalty, peace, not needing to prove anything to each other. This is a really nice pile. Like, this is a pile where this is kind of feels like, you know, you'll be friends until death, you know, you'll be partners until death. Again, don't take it in, again, tarot can be very dramatic, readings can feel very dramatic, but there's just this kind of connection that almost can't be explained by words. It's just like coming home. When you meet this person, it's like coming home. It's like, oh, I finally feel at home. I finally feel like I belong somewhere. I belong with this person. And of course, that's not something that we should strive for. We should always feel like we're at home with ourselves. But I feel like whoever picked this pile, you are very confident in who you are. It's just that this person really feels like you're kind. They're your on a soul level. You really resonate with them on a soul level. It's like they can just, again, as I said, like, you don't need to struggle to communicate with this person. You communicate on almost like telepathic level, which is really, really cool. And they'll never leave you out in the cold. That's another thing that's coming through. So in 6 months' time, there's maybe a proof of that. Maybe you really realize that. Maybe you're already realizing it, but you're kind of still skeptical. But I think in 6 months' time, you won't need to be skeptical anymore. You're going to be very sure of where this relationship is going or connection is going. You know, for example, if you are in a relationship with this person in 6 months' time, you're gonna absolutely know that you're gonna want to be with this person. This could even be, you know what, one thing that is coming through for some of you, this could be an ex that you know you want to be friends with and you can't explain it, and the reason is like, this is like one of those instances where exes really can be friends. Like, that could be something, like, you're not necessarily in a relationship, but this is a connection where you can be friends, where you can have a very strong and respectful friendship with each other, because you're on the same level. There's something energetically, you're on the same level. Really interesting. It feels like you've had like lifetimes together almost. So that's the reading that I got for group number 5. I hope you enjoyed it. I hope you liked it. If you did like it, do like, subscribe, and comment. I'd love to see what feedback you can give me for this pile, especially because I feel like it's just really, really interesting. But I'm going to see you in my next video, and yeah, bye.